ESL presents ESL Challenger League in partnership with Intel, ENCE Predator, DHL, and Checks.
It's day 3 of Cup 2 of the ESL Challenger League Season 51, where we start to separate the wheat from the chaff. For the last couple of days, we've played out the opening rounds of the upper bracket. Now we move to the lowest to eliminate a handful of squads. My name's Eternal J. I'm joined by Dweg for today's proceedings, our third day in a row, and it has been a bit of an interesting and fun one so far in the Challenger League.
Yeah, we've seen some of the best and let's say some of the worst and some of the weakest squads. I think now we're going into the lower bracket. This is where survival's very key, and if you're putting down a poor individual performance, you're not quite striking on the day, that's just going to be it. You're going to struggle with VRS points, you're going to struggle to get into a lot of these Tier 2 competitions. A deep run is required for a lot of these teams right now in ECL.
You pull no punches, Dweg, and most certainly you haven't been over the last couple of days. You've been very expressive of your disappointment in some of the teams that will be in today's lower bracket proceedings and will, look towards seeing whether they can stay alive and whether they can maintain a decent chance to maintain a top-end position. Obviously, outside the top 8 is the most likely of the proceedings because it is only round 1 of the lower bracket, and these teams are going to have to do quite a lot of work to make it to within the money zone.
I think right now, the teams that are going into a lower bracket round 1 matchup, you might be able to win the odd few games here or there, but I'm very skeptical that you're going to be able to get into the money. I think that's pretty much required for a lot of the teams that have shown a lot more depth and will ride the upper bracket for quite some day.
Well, over the afternoon in the lower bracket proceedings, we have seen a number of squads already look to get eliminated. Some matches have played out. A lot of forfeits, if I'm being honest with you. TLR took a legitimate win over the Heroic Academy side. They're moving forward, but we've sorted out our second round for the most part. There's a lot of various moving pieces that could end up sort of changing as things go on, and we are still focused on some of the other matches in the lower portion of the bracket because that's where things can get a little bit more dicey.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, Sangor would like to see what they're like with another game with Cypher just to get a bit of a grasp of how competitive they can really be. Sinkyu, one of the Finnish teams that we don't frequently see playing on HLTV. Hyperspirit, another Romanian team we don't see on HLTV very often. And then State, very good players on that team and playing a lot of officials recently, but not really getting the best of results.
And we're waiting for the winners of the Bushido Wildcats as the Little Mix side of things, so we're looking forward to seeing how that will pan out. Big Academy will be awaiting the victors of a series that we'll have on stream, however. ENCE Academy taking on MASONIC. So it could be a bit of a battle of the Academy sides if ENCE get their way. And certainly as the MASONIC side, there's an opportunity that ENCE could try and turn around some very awkward form. Both sides coming into this matchup with a bit of a losing streak and generally not high-level results from either side.
I'm almost getting a bit of deja vu. MASONIC versus ENCE Academy. We used to cast both of these teams very frequently. I would say at certain points of their histories, they were quite successful in Tier 2. MASONIC have always had a lot of historic players come and go through the organisation, but they've always been known as a bit of a feeder team, always picking up guys that are in the lower divisions, don't really have a huge amount of a pro career. And, well, I mean, you look at the roster itself, a lot of names in the Danish scene that you've probably never heard of. No one of the starting 5 has more than 240 maps played on HLTV, so it's all about the new generation of players.
And that's despite doing a lot of grinding for MASONIC. They are playing in more tournaments than I can possibly fit on my note sheet. Like, they have got so many appearances, so many entries, so many invites, so many open qualifiers that it is very hard to keep track of how well they're doing. And I guess for the most part, you can say that with the lack of real decent placings in the major sort of positions of the Tier 2 space, no major appearances in the online cups, mostly out last place or second to last place in playing series, and certainly not in any of the ECLs we've seen as of late. This is the side that are coming into this one a rather weakened unit.
And it's been a little bit difficult for them because last week they benched Buck, and they've been playing with the Nasus recently in every other competition, and then they're not playing with him in this one. And it's difficult when you've got a lineup that's made changes, but maybe you're working with the old iteration, or you're working with a coach coming in. We've seen that with Jo as an example, that's going on with Ursa right now. I look at ENCE Academy, they're a side that have also made some changes recently. Matt comes in last month. They had Blick, the Icelandic player, that was a part of the team for nearly a year. He's now part ways. But Temi, I mean, he's been here since, what, January of last year, Millet, or January of 2024, I should add. Millet from July of 2024. Swarz has been here since that period as well. So you've got a core 3 that dates 18 months. That's a long time in Tier 2.
And considering that we've talked about ENCE Academy and glowing history, it doesn't really read well towards them, the fact that there has been so awkward for a large portion of that time that they've been as a core. You know, the new players, maybe they might start to make a difference because ENCE Academy have started to play in a few more high-level competitions. They were in the last ECL Cup. They scored a goal in 2024 there. JP Pro League, that was a playoff finish in that one. BZA Masters, a playoff finish there as well. So there's some like high points, but generally, again, there are some low lows from both of these sides.
And even looking at the two AWPers today, I mean, just look at the ratings. Like, I know that on HLTV they're taking a lot of losses, so you always need to take that into account. The stats aren't going to be, let's say, flourished when you're not winning consistently. But for an AWPer of both sides, this is going to be a very important best of 3. And this is going to be two organizations that are quite similar ranked on VRS. I mean, they're both outside of the top 100, but there's not going to be much in it. So a good few best of 3s being won here. Get it today, try and face off against Big Academy, get another one there. You might find yourself squeezing within that top 100 position.
Yeah, and I mean, both of these sides really are looking to get into that position, trying to work their way up in terms of the rankings. I know that MASONIC, I just said that I don't think that they've had very many sort of like significant level tournaments, but they have been attending more LANs compared to the ENCE Academy side, which might have inflated their ranking a little bit more, and it's very easy to do that when you are outside in a very low ranking position. I do imagine that they're kind of coming into this one as underdogs because of that lack of experience, because of that lack of playing time compared to the contrast of ENCE Academy, who are also relatively inexperienced in their own right, but just considering the team that they have on the other side of the board, they'll have that slight edge.
Yeah, and I think for MASONIC, I'm always keen to see what the new iteration of this lineup is going to look like. Now, we know that Dust 2 tends to get banned quite a lot from the MASONIC side. It's not going to come through in this one context. And Mirage is the highest picked map in the pool for ENCE Academy, so that's why it's coming through as a ban. Nuke is going to come in. You probably expect Overpass from MASONIC. They pick a lot of Overpass and they pick a lot of Nuke. So already the start of this veto looks very promising for the Danes.
Indeed, it does. A lot of potential behind that opening 2-0 if they really want to get started. Obviously, Nuke being that key sticking point where a 60% win rate has come out from them, one of their second highest played maps in the pool. Decider will be a newest if we have to get towards that. So how do you feel about that map to close?
I think for a decider, we've at least seen MASONIC play the map somewhat. I think for the ENCE Academy, they've got, what, 2 officials on it in the last 3 months on HLTV. They're just not really playing that many best of 3s at all. I mean, you've got a MASONIC side that have played 45 best of 3s on HLTV in the last 3 months against ENCE Academy's 26. So we're looking at nearly double for the Danes. You are right, they're playing in a lot of tournaments, a lot of competitions. So for that position, I actually think they could get a 2-0 here today. I look at Nuke, even with the win rate not being very high, and thinking, geez, the Danes play so much of it. You start positive on the CT side, you go up against a team that's not winning very much on HLTV, and yeah, you'd love to be able to get a 2-0 today.
Well, no doubt from the map win perspective, you do look at that from MASONIC and say, okay, fine, sure, but you've also got that Nuke still being a strong one from the ENCE Academy side, and just the notion that it's about the play rate on the contrast of the win rates from ENCE Academy. 60% win rate for that Nuke on HLTV for ENCE. Not so much the same could be said for MASONIC. 31 times played, yes, but only a little under 30% of those being victories, and some of them being very one-sided losses. The last map up on record being a 1-13 loss towards Omega. So there is, again, contrast of, again, the number of matches being played versus the higher highs being hit from ENCE Academy. That's what I feel like this whole series is really being defined by.
And maybe this is just the series to just watch out for players of the future. I mean, I've mentioned that MASONIC have historically had some very good players come and go. Just think about some of those names. Anlay, Buzz, Cabby, Kragen, Torsen that's now out on Gamer Legion, Syrah that's on 100 Thieves. Even Queenix was a part of this organization. So I always get excited when I get to cover them myself because I just think, okay, well, out of this 5, who's going to be the next large talking point? Who's going to be a player that is going to fall into the higher degrees? Because you'd only expect maybe by the summer break, maybe by the end of the year, one of these 5 players is going to be on a decent Tier 2 team. You're going to get that promotion up the higher ends, and that's always what's going to happen when you're a part of MASONIC.
Well, certainly you would hope that there is going to be an opportunity to feed more talents up the rankings. That's always what MASONIC's been about. But you have to remember that those players that you just listed off, they were around at a very, very different time in the Tier 2 landscape, where MASONIC were a legitimate top-end Tier 2 team, and right now they most certainly are not. So is that a case that these players just really aren't as strong as the contrast? They really aren't as significant as those guys, or does it take more time to get to that kind of level?
I think it takes more time because of how Tier 2 is today. There's so many more teams, aren't there? Every single competition, you're getting new teams in via VRS, via qualifiers. So it's a lot more stacked, and it's, let's say, a lot more difficult to rise than it was in the past. But look, they are working really hard. They're playing a lot of officials. I think all 5 of them have pretty much only played via MASONIC. All of the ex-professional teams that they've been a part of has been for very brief periods. None of them have really had a taste of what it's like to play at that higher echelon. So, yeah, look, I think for this ECL Cup, I'm not really expecting a huge amount from MASONIC or from ENCE Academy. I'm certainly not expecting them to go on a run. They might be able to win the odd game here or there, but to me, they're both teams for the future and players for the next generation.
Yeah, I mean, look, I could see them going out, potentially getting the victory over Big Academy as well in the next round, but after that is where it goes all up in the air. I don't think they'll be able to survive for past that third round of the bracket. So, and that applies to both sides, honestly. I could see a world in which that is an equal sort of fate for both teams. So to make it through in this context, to make it through in this particular matchup, gain those bonus points in the VRS, try and, again, as you mentioned earlier, work into that top 100. I don't think this match will be enough to push them over the edge from MASONIC's part of things. It will get them closer, but not fully there. But it will be an important sort of factor towards their general level in the context of them just making that extra progress, just making that extra move up.
And I think I said it on broadcast last week. I couldn't have timed it any better. I thought ENCE's main team looked absolutely horrendous. I thought they looked god-awful. And who would have thought the very next day they dropped the entire team? They talk about a new direction of going towards the Finnish landscape. I think if you are a Temi, or you're a Millet, or you're a Click or a Matt, you're probably looking at the organization changing their divisions, looking at how they structure their CS teams, and thinking if there is a Finnish team on the horizon that's going to try and draw the main roster, is there room for promotion? Is there room to move around? It's at least in the back of the players' minds about what the future's really holding for the Academy team.
Yeah, and maybe some good performances or some good runs in tournaments will give them the groundwork they need to not only be a dominant force within the Finnish scene, but also potentially springboard that into domination within the, well, not domination, but at least significance and presence within the Tier 2 space as well. Again, ENCE have been up there as a main team, as an Academy side. They'd like to try and do so again. And so this Academy team will be looking for those promotions, they'll be looking for those call-ups. And you'd imagine that the management would certainly have their eyes on this side with 4 Finnish players saying, right, how many of you guys have that potential to make that leap up? And also considering where their own positions are as a team, right? Because we don't know what their intentions are in terms of the wider Tier 2 landscape. They said that they're going to go back to the Finnish space, but if you're ENCE, surely you must be looking towards the highest end of the Finnish space. So how many of these talents could try and lean towards that? I know that ENCE Academy currently are playing in the ELISA Open event, which kind of is their Finnish national championships at these stages, and they're doing okay for the early stages of the tournament that is. You wonder whether or not that might be another marker, and whether there'll be other opportunities for ENCE Academy to work up those markers to maintain themselves to be in contention for a promotion.
Well, I think it's really crazy right now is that we've got so many Finnish teams in this ECL bracket. Harvu are here, the CS Dillet guys, they've been playing around quite a bit recently. And then, is it Sinkyu, the one that's led by Sampa and co? I don't really recognize the majority of players on that lineup, but there are Finnish teams, and yet I think the Finnish scene is in the worst position it's ever been. I mean, it's crazy to think that there is at least lineup still actively competing, but years ago, Harvu was quite a dominant name in Tier 2. Kova was quite good. Hereds were also a team that could do some damage. Whereas these days, I just think that the majority of Finnish teams and Finnish players just can't hang. Like, they just can't hang at the top end of Tier 2. So it's a very difficult position to be in if you are a local player. I think it's the same for the Danes. I don't think particularly the Danish Tier 2 scene is strong right now. I think in the past it was really good. You'd always have anywhere between 3 and 4 teams that you would classify towards the high end of Tier 2. I think right now you've probably got Ecstatic and that's it. I think after them the drop-off is quite harsh. So I think right now for Scandinavia as a whole, maybe outside of Sweden that's doing quite well with Alliance and Johnny Speeds and Metasports and Eyeballers, the Danes and the Finns, mate, they're lacking behind.
I mean, I'm just thinking about the Swedish scene from like 7 years ago when they were lacking behind, looking over at Denmark and Finland, just going, yeah, first time, lads, because yeah, they've been there before and they've had their own resurgence. So maybe it just does ebb and flow at times. Maybe there are chances available in the future to make a development, because they are on a resurgence in Sweden. So maybe it is just their turn to be that significant force within within Scandinavia. It has been them in the past. It can be them in the future. And I guess this is part of the international meta and an effect that the international meta has had, because it's no longer about those regional tier 1 teams delivering opportunities towards the tier 2 players to develop and grow and to really foster up any sort of like development room. And so you're left with those national sides that just remain as within the national space. That domination is only held in regions rather than the actual continents or the international level. And that part I think is part of the reason why these scenes have dipped off in quality. Yeah,
it's a big shame, but it's just the climate that we're in today. I think also as well for a lot of the Danish players and Finnish players that were ex-Tier 1 in the past, not a lot of them have dropped down to being, let's say, in-game leaders in Tier 3 or gone into coaching roles or tried to back organisations. I think a lot of them have just retired and pretty much just buggered off and just not been involved in CS anymore. So that always makes it really difficult. I mean, just look at the players that you've got in front of us today. I mean, everyone on ENCE Academy is, what, 19 or younger? The majority of players on MASONIC, you've got 22, 19, 22. Some of the older guys at 25 of the AWP and Krale, but yeah, you do have a lot of youth coming from these young and national teams that are coming out of Scandinavia and Tier 2 as a whole. I mean, especially some of the CIS teams we've seen recently.
And I mean, look, that partially is the reason we run these events. It's partially the reason what Challenger League is all about. It's about the challenges. Who's going to rise up through the rankings? And I'm sure that people may be looking at this one saying that these two teams are probably lesser down the levels of challenges and rather within that Tier 3 conversation. I certainly would agree if you wanted to make that argument. But it is all about seeing who's going to develop into those next big stars. And we have seen elements like ERSA, for example, Carnage. I know you've been raving about him. Everybody looks towards the Academy of Jay Bowen, for example. Yep. Unity have got some players that have a little bit more reputation in terms of their own rises. The Magus, similar story over on their side of things. So there are a number of squads that you can look at and say there is a high amount of potential to try and deliver in that sort of regard.
Yeah, even looking at some of the teams that we've had in this one competition, again, Sinkyu, Sampa and the boys don't know anything about those Finnish guys. The Last Resort, we just saw them recently playing at a UK LAN. They'd love to be able to try and get more HLTV officials under their belt. And then I also saw, Jay, this EC Banger team from Latvia. Never heard of any of these players. So I think that's what this one ECL Cup can maybe be about, is just recognising some rising talents, recognising some players that don't really get the spotlight that they should deserve.
Well, let's shine a spotlight on ENCE Academy and MASONIC. Dweg, I'm going to back ENCE Academy just because of those high notes and that slightly higher level of experience, but make no mistake, MASONIC have a decent chance to make something happen here as the first map of Nuke is going live in the Pistols. Krale is already taking down Mats to kick things off.
Click is trying to scale, try and get a lot of map control out here from T-Red and into Secret, but Frostlev is spotting and the Julies are down lower.
One of them first kill. They've lost a player to a suicide. I'm not sure what happened to Avo there. And the trade is still pretty fantastic for the CT forces. Botman and Noro are going to be able to return onto a 1 versus 3. Miller with the one trade back, bombs on his back, and can move into towards that B bomb site. Try to look for a plant down, but CTs are quickly on their way into the rotations. Decon's been left open. The ramp is already open, and a player has occupied that space. Miller's seen him tapping up, seeing a player coming out. Eventually will get overwhelmed with a numbers game, and the pistol win will go the way of the Danes.
Now, something that we haven't discussed in the pre-show, and we should discuss now, we're getting in game. Frostlev playing today. So I mentioned that last week Buck had been benched. Now, while they've been playing with Nasus in all of the other tournaments, here in ECL with the roster locks, Buck was still the registered player. So with him being out of the team, Frostlev's got to come in, and we've got another Ursa situation in which Jo has to basically get back on the keyboard and mouse, try to help out. Now, Frostlev has had a few coaching roles in the past. He joined MASONIC towards the beginning of this year, but he was an ex-pro basically right up until the Christmas break. So it's not been long since he's been out of retirement.
Last seen playing for Prestige.
I got to play against him on LAN, in fact.
How was he?
He looked quite good. Yeah. I mean, again, structured in-game leader. Always been fairly notable in Tier 2. Never really got a huge amount of success, I would say. He always had better teammates and then eventually lost them to bigger projects. But he's got over 800 maps played on HLTV, making him the most experienced player in the server.
Whilst I'm not sure if he's going to be a permanent 5th man, he certainly is going to be a good enough man for the time being. We have secured a nice solid pistol. Not quite thanks to his efforts, forcing down a force buy from ENCE Academy. Quickly looking for the upper execution fake and out towards ramp as well. He's looked to go, but the CTs have blocked them. Schwarz is down on low HP. And Click looks to try and enter for ENCE Academy. M4 a bot man, good for 1 and 2. With support on the site. Kills can come in on outside as well. Not much that can be secured by ENCE. It's a nice clean sweep round for MASONIC.
MASONIC getting the tidy 2-0. That forward investment from ENCE Academy didn't get much at all. Got mowed down quite easily. And that position ever so strong out there from Mustang. Even with players trying to flood out and trying to get his crosshair to move away, still made it look very comfortable. So definitely a defining start here from the Danes. They'd love to try and start farming up as much cash as they can. Get a VOO on the AWP as quickly as possible. Try and use this one and even the next round as a bonus round.
Deagle's out on the eco. Will leave Click in with an opening start. Matt's staying tagged up once again. Low HP for him. Still works the forward contact on outside. Crowley's going to try and receive, but not be too keen on holding the angle. Matt's passing that Deagle back to a teammate. I believe that's Schwarz that got that. Oh no, sorry, he's got a player right behind him. Miller. The bomb's on his back, but no further contacts taken on outside. CTs have backed away with that man disadvantage.
MASONIC are playing the range game, which is the right thing to do. Don't try and take too much map control away. Give a lot of pressure and allow it for the Ts to flow on the outside. And not even over-peaking against these players towards the back of T-Red. Now, eventually, you will have to try and split towards this lower position. Click might be able to take some attention away, but you'd expect a scale to try and get as close towards main as possible.
Lauren turning in. Flashbang still catches him, so he gets that kill against his position alongside Click following suit on bot man. He got 2 trades back to maintain the 2-on-3, but it's favourable still to ENCE Academy. Bomb plant can be secured. Swing out from Crowley is going to be stalled out for just enough time, and he and Frostlev can combine to take down all elements in play on the post plant. Still, for an eco, 3 casualties plus a bomb plant there for ENCE Academy.
And it's wild to think how poor the win rate really is for MASONIC, considering that they've picked Nuke 16 times in the last 3 months themselves. We know Overpass is #1 in the pool, and then just after that is Nuke. So maybe it has been some teething issues with not having the same full 5 consistently right now, and maybe it's also been about just the level of competition, right, going up against those higher-end names in Tier 2, and that's why Nuke's been a bit uneasy. But as of right now, they'll look at that eco and say it wasn't too expensive. They took a couple of casualties away from us, but let's focus up. We've now got the AWP in play, and ENCE Academy need to make sure that they get off to a good start. Do not want to be going down 0-5 on the T side.
And these losses extend over the 3-month period, so it's not just because of that roster change in my eyes. There's a decent start on CT for MASONIC. Rifle rounds. Play for here for ENCE Academy, looking for a chance to reset the Danes. They've done early damage against them this time. Not much taken on Mats or Schwarz. Frostlev maybe receiving Click first up. Flashbang support will be required as they look to enter in. Gets caught right in the face, turned blind, but so is Click on that one. Was that counter nade or just team damage? I'm not sure. Either way, means no casualties come in the end. Nora's going to miss that AWP shot. Swing out from Schwarz, gets bubble up on the kills. And now the B site is under siege. Probably is going to get taken aback right here. Botman's going to be heard rotating, and that upper site player can call in that information. But they've got to deal with the Val here. M4 holding his position, but in the end they decide to counteract it. Crowley's going to get caught off over at the squeaky doorway, and the Molotov down at the vent's going to stop those rotations. Bomb can go back up heaven, plant safe, 5-on-2 for ENCE Academy.
It wasn't the cleanest of entries out there towards ramp, but I think the flash assist definitely helped. Both of those players being completely blinded, the M4 slightly out of position, and the AWP was hoping that someone was going to swing wide, and it just never really came. Eventually tries to search through that molly, and then that's when they swing, so just a bit of an unfortunate timing. Now, these last couple were going to get hunted, so the AWP's just got to try and take as many T players down with him if he can.
15 HP for a VOO. And Botman being pressed in from Secret. They hear those footsteps coming into the corridors, so be aware that that's the AWP's position. Will they be aware of the M4 with it? Clashes, checked on, kill for the first, not the second. The AWP missing his shot, so all 5 will fall in the end for the CT side. And still a little bit of savings, but lopsided investments to come in from the Danes of MASONIC. ENCE Academy are now on the board and with an opportunity to try and springboard that into a whole lot more.
And this might be a moment in the game where ENCE Academy realise, okay, Frostlev, coach standing in, he's playing Rab. Do we try and abuse that a little bit? Do we try and pressurize it in some of the early to mid rounds, even if we don't take it and commit towards B, but just try and get him dueling quite a bit, because he is going to be the weakest one on the server today. MASONIC get themselves in for a reinvestment, and already you can see the AWP trying to create an opening pick out there from heaven, and the MP9 going quite aggressive, seeing if there's any door pressure.
Holding the edge of the squeak. And sprays onto the T-sub. We'll get some damage whilst blinded. 10 meter down on quarter. He's still hunting for this opening kill, but has the utility suppression down there at Squeaky. A little bit of a deeper smoke against the CT spot that also went down. But no opening kill in this first minute marker.
And Matt's on the outside has shown in these last couple of rounds, they're quite happy to slow these rounds down, not really try and scale too quickly. The play out from Credit towards the back of Garage should get some info at least.
Krale trying to get a kill. We saw so many players. They took forever to react to him, but as soon as they did, a headshot, man down. And Matt's will waste no more time. They're sending in Schwarz to the mini angle. They're looking for the AWP first up, though, and Nora's going to find that returning frag. And a shoulder bait turning into a full-on peak, and a 4-on-4 can ensue. The AWPer of the T side expecting there to be an extension, and there almost was. They think better of it, though.
It's getting really slow. It has to be an A split, and there's quite a lot of A defenders right now from MASONIC.
SMG close at mini, going to get checked on. Good burst on towards Mats. The M4 in the meantime. Resisting away from the rafters. Click will get that kill. Miller's going to deal with one player on the outside. Aval still involved. Click gets his kill back 15 seconds. Miller, leg shot in the man down, pulls out the pistol and pulls out the round for ENCE.
Ooh, just about. And this has looked a little bit uneasy, I think, for ENCE Academy. Right there, they're trying to split A with, what, 30 seconds on the clock. They're struggling to get into main. They're struggling to even get out of hut. It's a very good double kill from Click on the bomb side. And then Millet right there, I was kind of under the impression that as soon as he misses, he's just going to get swung and dies, but gets the clock out and still finds the connection. So, scrappy round there from the Finns, but they make it work.
It's 2 rifle round victories for themselves. MASONIC up to the pistols, can only afford them. Upgrades on P250s at the best. The formality round that should allow ENCE Academy to even up the board and take away some of the vital CT rounds. The stats do speak towards their CT side being the better half for ENCE. So at least they'll find their confidence as they gain more and more in this opening half of things. They face no resistance. They will face aggression, and so far it will all fail.
MASONIC just try and see if they can get these very light pistols in for even a single pick, but it doesn't seem as if it's going to happen here at all. And just keep an eye on the gun rounds competitiveness across this series. I think we're looking at some win rates on map 1 and map 2 that don't look too ideal, right? So maybe you could be under the impression that we do get some one-sided scores to start off this best of 3.
Yeah, MASONIC have not been strangers to the one-sidedness of those scoreboards. 5 maps of Nuke lost in a row, all of which being single digits. No closer than a 13-8. And hoping to avoid a similar fate here against the ENCE Academy side, who will face the rifles one more time. No AWPs this time for the Danes. M4s alone. And they got that AWP in for Millet at least. And again, this passive angle of defensive from the CTs. No active aggression beyond the diag smokes. Some nades down to try and pop them open, reveal pressure, improve real presence, but no one is seen for now.
Just spamming, getting quite a bit and almost dropping the AWPer. Now they're trying to get into secret a lot quicker than what they've done previously.
And right into that AWP, he does miss his shot. Krale doubling up as well, Schwarz down. Half HP returned on towards the man. No chances to punish any aggression either. Temmie's hoping that someone leans in towards lobby, but right now, the CTs have no reason to do so. Probably could get caught off by Mats next, and indeed, Mats will get that trade together. But only one player seen downstairs. He's certainly going to try and sell him on a fake.
Yeah, well, Click's got to get a rotation somewhere. He's got to hope to get one of these A players coming down towards Secret. It's a very strange round for ENCE Academy that they went double Secret and left the bomb Africa. There's so much separation across all three of these players on the T side.
Might be about to get what they were looking for here. Temmie's been holding out for this aggression the entire time. Just missed the mark on Froslev. And that will change the complexion of this round. The timing on Botman also off. They have no idea that this angle is being taken by the CT forces. That bomb now going to make its way downstairs. You got action that could potentially come in with one CT looking at entering the rafters. Mats will just find him as he gets away from that smoke. Gets caught off just before it. The footsteps will get heard by Temme. He now knows what he needs to do. Start to work the upstairs bomb site bomb. Looking to cross. Incendiary out for Botman. They can't punish him with the utility in his hand. They're forced to utilize that smoke, but Mats is going to go falling. And now Temme needs to join Click as he puts that bomb down.
Yeah, try and get that flank off. Player at the backside just needs to stay alive.
AK not sure where to look, being pressured from all sorts of sides, hides inside of that smoke as well. CT's no information, finally they get the catch up on him. Now Temme's got a strike, C3, get one to that person towards the second player with the bombs behind the silo, so he's got to get on the angle. 10 seconds of the stick, he sees his man, but he's protected, and the counter frag comes in to reclaim the lead from MASONIC.
They've actually done quite well there to get a bomb plant and get 3 casualties, considering that there was almost nothing in that round whatsoever. Some awkward timings out towards T-Roof, but the players at lower just don't stay alive long enough. I mean, Mats does well to try and get 2, but as soon as that bomb goes down, you just know if you can get to double doors, if you can get out towards single and just live, that's when your flank from Temme is going to close the round down. And you were mentioning, Jay, how much grinding MASONIC are doing. I've just had a look on HLTV. Currently 5th in the world right now for most maps played in the last 3 months. You've got Los Cucutos up there at 1, MASONIC XT at 2, the ex-Ruby lads at number 3, and then Illwill with 7 kick and Haji and Namana at 4. And then right after that is Botman and the rest of the boys here from MASONIC. So 118 maps in the last 3 months. That is a serious amount of officials.
Indeed it is. Tactical pause coming in from the Finns. Moment of respite for now, but streak interrupted. I want to try and get it right back ASAP. 1 to the good on MASONIC. And so still quite a little bit of cash available even after this buy. Even the MAC 10 from Click was not really a necessary purchase. They could have gone down to the AK right there. I guess he's hoping that there's lack of helmets on this CT Force, and there is one on Froslev. He's going to try and charge down against him. MAC 10 leads them out towards ramp. Only one player to hold on towards it. It's Nora instead on the B defensive, but he gets run down instantly. Click with that casualty, and the CT rotations are called in fast and furious here from the Danes. Bomb hasn't fully committed towards the bomb side, though. They'll leave 2 players down here as more challengers come in on the outside, but no further casualties yet.
Well, this round's just finished. There's just lurkers everywhere. They've been able to pull all of the rotations and the CTs down towards lower. They've cleared out all of A, and you've still got a lurk on the outside that can cut CTs trying to come up from secret.
The kill that just came in towards the bomb site. Another one following through from about. Raleigh could deny the bomb plant from his position, but he doesn't go for the full-on swing. He recognises he could be in danger towards it. Does find Millet at least. That's a 1 returning frag, but a Molotov to push him away, install for more time for the favour of the Finns. Try and counter flash in as the fire does fade away. A smoke down at Mini, a HE sent towards Tetris. No one's there to receive that damage. Extensions could come in towards lobby. Matt is watching out from the, or watching the heaven position from Hut. But both of these remaining CTs will be happy with their AKs. Concede 1 more back to end to even the board for a second time.
Well, they're just trying to rattle right now MASONIC and the calling power. You saw just beating them by pace, using the MAC 10 because it's got the best spawn, accelerating very quickly into ramp, charging down towards B, and then even with the opening kill, even with putting all that pressure with the util towards double doors, you don't even commit towards a B plant. The CTs are just absolutely everywhere except A. 4 for 4. And considering the slow start from ENCE Academy, they'll be very happy with what they've turned this game into.
And again, they're looking for even more. The economy state is broken for MASONIC, so these 2 AKs will be invaluable to them because there's not really much else to speak of. Botman on the center of the A-bomb site. Crowder's going to try and get up towards Secret. He's going the long way around via the corridors. Smokes to the diagonals. Again, been set out towards outside. And Teme has only got a single wall, a couple of feet's worth of swing to find his contact against Botman. Who's going to see who first? Who's going to extend first? It's going to be Teme that wins that fight. Matt's engaging on Crowley in the meantime. That both those riflers are down.
And now for MASONIC, well, there's nothing left in this round except just a bit of a gamble towards A. You might hope to get a single kill. Swars on the outside is taking quite a lot of map control, so he gets options to try and wrap in towards Heaven. And Frostlev is not going to catch this timing.
Naru should be faced on. Back returns. No, not quite. 50-50 towards the outside. 180. Nicely done from Schwarz. He's picked up one of those AKs. Can get a couple kills out of it, but nothing that will make a difference in the round. Nothing that will do significant damage to the T-side economy state. Advantage now for ENCE Academy on T.
And one of the very light benefits that MASONIC are going to have with their coach standing in today is that Black can then be the head coach for this best of three, right? Being the CEO, being the owner of the organization, used to play for this side, used to coach them. We do get times where, in the past, if their head coach has got to fill in, he'll just basically replace him. So these tactical timeouts will have both Black and Frostlev chatting together. But yeah, their City side has not been too pretty. I mean, they've had the AWP investment in quite a few of these gun rounds. I can't remember an AWP pick. Every time Noah is started Heaven, he's not getting anything. I think they need to either get him Secret to go basically ramp to Secret from the lower portion, or start ramp maybe. Because, yeah, you need to get the AWP involved in some fights.
See what kind of change they can make, whether Black will have the answer. I had a chance to sit down and have an interview with him about 3 years ago. He's a very intelligent person. Understands a style of Counter-Strike that many veteran high-level coaches will not really kind of CS that these guys on MASONIC might end up playing in the very near future. The BYOC grinds. Let's see whether that intelligence will come into effect. It's one tactical per side called in thus far. Agility being sent down towards the outside again with the diags. Teme's already made his way in towards Secret though, so their distraction is going to be pulled away as they look towards the outside. Did he get spotted? I think he did. Yep, he certainly has. The AWP to adjust. Teme running into Noru. That's the AWP picked up. One small timing is enough to turn the advantage, and now the T's are going to try and accelerate with it. Click with the utility pulled out. Frostlev completely whisked that spray, and the AWPer also forced away by the Molotovs. The M4 going to get caught off, pushed out of position, now put it in a corner himself. A Glock is pulled, the rifler goes down, the veteran out of play, and a leg shot onto Avu just to add even extra salt in the wound. 19 HP for him, 8 for the AWPer, and Krale dead towards Miller. M4 desperate to get something out of the round, but as much as he faces, the more and more chances he's going to end up dropping down sooner. The bomb now on the rafters, looking to commit to the bomb site and should be doing so relatively quickly. No, the lineup's right there for Avu. They get caught napping. The round's turned back. Time's limited.
And now the two extremity players are just nowhere near the bomb site. They're both coming in from ramp, but they've lost all the control. I don't think this is winnable. You can try and scale out from ramp, but just the time basis alone, there's nothing in this for me.
10 seconds. All the CDs need to do is high. They still don't check the observation window. Trying to go in for that bomb, but they have to fall back now, especially as Swarz has fallen. And Avu has stolen this round from underneath the noses of ENCE Academy. This should have been a simple affair. With a man advantage, such little health. But I don't know what they were doing, stalling up in the catwalk. Whatever it was, it didn't work.
And it should have been a punishment. I mean, this lower bomb site has got everything going for it. You've got two opening picks from the ramp players after losing the one out in Garage. And it's the 25-year-old in-game leader of Avu that closes that round down. They've been here since July of last year. Now, can that get them a 7-5? I think if you can get 7T rounds, you'll feel that that's a fairly successful first half.
And for ENCE Academy, I certainly would agree on their perspective. They can still get to 7-5 themselves. It's best case scenario for both sides. Neuer is going to get forced away right into the hands of Miller. I think there was a missed smoke towards the back line, so the The open space, Crowder's going to try and punish it, and he gets almost all that damage on Mats, but missed the mark by 25 HP. Frostave good with one pick back, unable to respond to a second. There is low HP again for the T-side line. A 4-on-2 advantage towards their favour, though. Masonic, the last two individuals scattered, separated, trying to group together, look in the lobby, but Temi's so ready for Avu this time. Swings up, AK wins the fight, and Botman's alone.
We've just seen a lot of extremity players across this entire first half from ENCE. They've been packing quite heavily with the bomb, but then leaving one or two players, either ramp, lobby, Africa, deep outside, garage, just to sit there and play late, activate very late. And it means that you're always going to get those kills when CTs are repositioning. Botman might be able to get away with one, but you don't expect any more than that.
A leg to 5, so even that becomes unlikely. Bomb plant secured on B. Has to get all the way out towards spawn to avoid the bomb casualty, but that will be an easier said than done task. Regardless of the state of these exits, regardless of the state of this post round. This will be a 6th for the ENCE Academy team, again back in the lead. Trying to maintain it to go out of the half with. Its Click will take down that last rifle. The AK will not stay in for the last round of the half. And the buy in general does look a little bit more awkward now for Masonic.
They're not going to be able to get much together for round 12. Shame, really. You're going to see quite a lot of MP7s, MP9s. Not going to see many rifles at all. ENCE Academy, round by round, have put quite a lot of pressure on the Danes, and you can see it here. MP9s for 3, pistols for 2. And the only reason we're getting 2 pistols is just to get a little bit more util forward.
MP9s have to do all the heavy lifting, and the AKs and the AWP look far more superior by comparison. And the setup for ENCE. Only getting behind the CT side line. Kralate caught by Schwarz. I think he pushed through all that smoke when Schwarz was already back at the red box, so advantage taken in an instant.
A topside util being lined up here from Millet, but it's just a fate. They're not committing with it. They're leaving Schwarz to work on the outside, and Botman gets drawn in. Does get dinked in the process, though, when he goes aggressively into Heart.
And he's tagged low for that 4-on-4, as is Avu. And Noro goes down, killed off into Secret. Now no player left in play for the CT side is unscathed. Schwarz will get worn back by the lack of ammo in the magazine. The info onto where the last 2 CT players are at, though, gives the telegraph of the quick push in towards ramp. Frostave will try to get down those vents and try and indicate something, but it's all even a ruse here, a fake. Click will get back up heaven. Try and work the outside. Bomb is on his back. Eventually finds the kill on Botman, and the last player being seen. Bomb can't commit. Frostave can't deny it, being watched by the AWP. Shot lands right to his shoulder, and that's more than enough. 7-5 at the turn of the half for ENCE there. Map pick is going swimmingly thus far. It's a T-side lead for ENCE Academy. 7-5 up on their pick of Nuke. Now they move into the CT half. Statistically, they're better half in their last 15 times played. So is this the sign of a simple enough affair to kickstart their series here, Blake?
I'd certainly say so. I've been fairly happy with what I saw from ENCE Academy. A bit disappointed, I'd say, from MASONIC, especially being on a CT-sided start. Sort of had a little bit more, let's say, expectation, especially when you're winning pistol and getting off to that 3-0. I think when you get off to that promising start, there's a lot of time and a lot of building blocks to be able to at least guarantee yourself to get a lead, but yeah, not really much threat being generated. And look, unfortunately for Frostlev, this is just his second official in 2026 on HLTV. 2 kills in the first half. I mean, it's low numbers and it's punishment.
I'm not expecting him to be a star, but fill those gaps where necessary. It hasn't always happened when playing a crucial part of the defensive. Now on the offensive, it's Miller that holds a very stunning stubble kill to kick things off in the upper side take. Noru and Botman and Krale are going to return fire back on the outside, but a 2v2 is Teme can take down one. See that bomb dropping into the vent, and must know there's going to be a B-side execution. So Click will be set up trying to receive that first contact, and indeed the bomb is down in the open. The last player seen towards double doors. Click's going to fall back and wait for support to arrive. Might allow him the space to work with on the B bomb site. Knows that he has to go out there to grab the bomb and look to try and counter commit. The Julie sets are watching the back of Decon. Raleigh will tap that, hold it, will be denied eventually by Teme's Julies. It's a nice double for him, the same pistol win for ENCE.
And there is nothing better than seeing a player like Click being disciplined in that 2v2, getting a shot off on the right-hand side of ramp, fighting against the double doors, and then not re-peeking. I think there's so many players that would be eager to try and fight that last, and then that's when you just lose the round, isn't it? You swing out in the open, you overextend, you give yourself a 1v1 fight, you lose it, and then you put a lot of pressure on your teammate out in decon with the Julies. So good discipline, a good read, and for MASONIC, no bomb plant means no force potential.
Generally good performance from Click so far. One of the lesser experienced players on this ENCE Academy side. The core 3 would have been known for the last couple of years, but Click and Mats, far more newer additions. Click a little bit longer, remaining from July 2025. But Mats only last month introduced into this side, so those are the 2 men that you would expect to make mistakes like that. Good to see that they aren't. And development in progress for an Academy side. 9-5 for them. MASONIC back on their rifle basis. The AKs across the board. Bonus weapons for the ENCE side. They've got cash in the bank. They can build into a true buy in the next. Still have a chance to win this one outright.
MASONIC have got an individual player up towards Silo, just trying to spot if anyone's getting towards the back of T-Red, having an aggressive approach maybe into Africa. There is a player that's crossed down towards Secret, more missed util from the T side. The cross smokes from Krale has not been given too much vision towards Credit or even the back of Garage.
Schwarz peeks in from the Secret angle, making no secret about his position. Similar story for the second SMG. Revealing that weaponry early. but not forcing them into confidence here. Crowley's going to go back in towards mini, try push. This smoke is being watched on that position as Click holds the ramp angle. Same angle the first has been holding a couple times in that last half. Is set back up with the SMG as well. Involved in the open, drop off for Lavu, gets nothing. M4 the second, not quite able to follow it up. The SMG, similar story for Schwarz, so he'll fall. There's no one left on the B-bomb site. Alongside Crowley in his upper site luck, Millet will fall. The rotations via ramp, via vent rather, are cut off. And via ramp, Matt can grab one of those AKs, but can he do anything in terms of a retake here? Or bomb carrier was exposed for a second, but fighting just for the exit frags at this stage, it looks like that's the best that they can do.
They just try and make it somewhat costly, but I think that was fundamentally a huge round of mistakes from ENCE Academy. First off, very surprised about that secret play. I think Teme is tucked. Why is the SMG trying to fight? It just funnels them basically not into secret with that fight. And then secondly, there's a disconnect from the ramp players there. You've got Schwarz and Click that are playing together, but yet they're not playing together, are they? Schwarz has fallen back towards the bomb site. Click's playing an off angle. The M4 takes one, and then the MP9 swings in after he's taken contact. So you're only getting one kill between the two players. Now, for a save of 2 AKs being held, with the bomb dropping even more, you'll be happy with the late outcome of that round, but won't be happy with how it was being played at all.
In grand totality, you have to look at that and just say, right, we had a couple SMGs, we've got 2 AKs and bonuses, so now we can buy in full now, including the AWPs and all. You are right about the round itself, though. And as the true guns come in for them, the weakened by state of Masonic will show through. And have a chance to cripple the economy state once again, so you can look at this as an overall positive if you can follow up with a responsive round, a 10-6, 11-6. And from there, your chances to win on Masonic's part go down the toilet, ostensibly. Smokes and flashes towards the outside. Crowley going to try and push forward and push inside of the diags. Not going to be seen by the CT forces. One player on outside was watching that AWP. And Crowley will see no contact in garage.
Just keep utilising this space. You're here packed in quite heavily for a T side. Now, the Mac 10 at top of main is not going to be able to achieve much. So what he needs to do is basically just be a spotter. Down towards Secret, you've got Schwarz, who's there, but doesn't really have the util to block. And Crowley is just going to start getting active ever so slightly now.
Good nade from Schwarz will cancel that position. Click gets a kill in from locker rooms in the meantime, so Avo's going to fall. Crowley on outside, though, watching and waiting. Oh, just about misses the marker, getting the kill on to Click. Could have been an easy enough kill at 15 HP. Survives at 2 and gets information towards the outside that the outside is compromised. Rotations are inbound from the T side. Mats needs to join with Click Pack and move into the lobby access now to hold the bomb site from outside of it. 30 seconds on the clock, and Noru will just slowly creep in.
Well, they're worried about the heaven flank, so that's why they're going inner. Mats has got to try and focus on multiple positions at the same time.
Let that bomb go down. A lot of attention that the T side could utilise. The kill against the low HP player. Doesn't go with the ghost on the AK, but he will be heard their footsteps. Information to call in the AWP. Just about connects from Miller, who was searching and very nearly got caught off guard for that one. Engaged towards the outside for Crowley. Gets that kill onto Schwarz, so 3-on-3, but all players are tagged, and some of them very, very low on the team side. The nade from Miller will send towards Botman, get that kill. Matt centers onto Frostlev. They know where Crowley is at heaven, his last known angle. They get flashed off, blinded on the defuse they need to get right now. They have kits in play, but 5 seconds to the stick. Miller's going to cover him and get that casualty to maintain that 10th for ENCE.
Yeah, that retake looks pretty successful there from ENCE. They slowed it down. They were just trying to scale, see exactly what's happening. It gets a bit uncomfortable for a moment when they lose the pick to heaven, but then Millet strikes, and then you just start coming in with the util. So many flashes out there to the last remaining player in heavens, and near miracle to win a 1v3 like that. Get yourself up to double digits, and Masonic don't really have a buy here. And they'll have themselves a lighter eco. Lost bonus kicking in, try and get a buy round in the next, but I don't think we've got many more rounds left on Nuke here.
We certainly don't. This one looks like it's effectively over. One round of buffer space for Masonic to try and return into the comeback, but we are asking for about 5 or 6 rounds on said comeback. The pistols here and the upgrades have already lost their first. Not expecting much more out of them. Anyway, distraction might force Teme to get a mistiming on the squeaky door player, depending on how they move towards it, but Frostlev Just seen Teme tagged a little bit towards his. I'm coming in from the corridors there. I'm going to try and end A right here. Can they overwhelm this man? They are certainly baiting him in for the sprays right here. They have the information towards the open bend corner, close bend corner. Mats can trade back into his casualty. Double up, triple up, and quadra up. Nice and simple. 11-6. Rifles inbound from MASONIC. What will be their last chance to get involved here on Nuke?
And this might be the perfect round to be able to start generating a bit of pace. I think their T-side's been pretty slow on the gun rounds. We've seen them have variations of the outside smokes. Haven't seen any quick vent dives, top site leans, ramp pressure. So when you're down 6-11 and you've got a lot of pressure to be able to respond, I think try and generate a bit of pace. Frostlev still stuck on 3 kills. AWP down on 7. Botman's doing his very best to put up numbers, but I think everyone right now from MASONIC is struggling individually.
Most certainly. East side, not their home territory. Starting to get an idea as to why this map has been so difficult for them in certain capacities. Not enough shown on the CT side, only 1 round gained on T. Guys like Frostlev down as low as 3 kills. You get the sense that MASONIC don't really know what to do right here in this default. Not getting any major results in the first minute. No opening casualties. They try and force one out on Mats, but Mats takes down Frostlev with particular ease. Galil of Avu now moving on. Incendiaried off. The Orpa's going to dive out of heaven and try and support his teammate on the bomb site. Looking towards Mini, we're going to see several players almost land the collateral right there. It looked like it was dead on, but him and Mats can combine, get the kills together. Botman can get one returning frag. Miller holds the angle for a double up. Deagle secures the triple, and it all ends nice and effectively. 12-6, map point for ENCE.
A very good hold out on the bomb site. We've had a couple of rounds in a row now where Mats has been tested on good crosshair placement against players in hut, players coming out from door. And both times he's been able to put up multi-frag, especially with the AWP staying alive for as long as he did on the backside. Now MASONIC have just got no money whatsoever. Not even a single AK is going to come forward into round 19.
Yeah, not the buy you want to see. 6-round comeback being asked of. Upper execution will come in rather fast. M4 holds down for Mats, gets Norop. And Frostlev will go down towards Teme. Millet's on the outside, seeing their contact towards Secret in the red box cross. We'll see another player out there. Won't be able to hit the shots against him, but they've got a 5-on-3. They've got presence on the B bomb side. They've got everything they need right now, ENCE.
The Swarz is hearing these footsteps. Try and get up onto the rafters if you can. A little bit too late to the reposition, but still makes it easy for the first kill.
One man's about to get spotted by Click. Oh, what an adjustment that is. Very crispy. Now Krale has nothing left. 1v5. First fight is isolated at least, but no more than that. Click holds the reverse crossfire with Swarz and lands the killing blow that will end off map 1 in rather confident fashion for ENCE Academy. A reason why they picked Nuke clearly on display, despite the play rate from MASONIC. It doesn't mean much if you can't get the wins.
And it's entertaining to think that in this veto process, there was even a punishment at the start. Mirage is the most picked, highest picked map in the pool for this ENCE Academy side, and even though it never gets banned from MASONIC, they think, right, let's try and get the strong suit out. We'll play a lot of Nuke. We'll have a much better time on this one than we would on that Mirage. And instead they got farmed. They went up 3-0, and then from that point onwards couldn't string another round in a row together. It was flat, it was average. And for ENCE Academy, it didn't even look too special for them either. I think we just had a lot of multi-frags coming through, really tight kill distribution. Players not over-peaking in man advantage situations, running protocols to a fine degree. So, yeah, good start to the series for them.
Indeed it was, and that's a great sign for this team. I know we haven't been very big fans of ENCE Academy for a while, but the fact that you look so confident on your home territory, it does put a positive start towards them. Now, it's the next maps that can start to get a little bit more concerning, because unlike the likes of Nuke, where you've got the positive win rate and it's a staple in your in your pool, Overpass is the pick on the MASONIC side. They've still got similar amount of maps being played with the likes of Nuke, and a lot more wins on that map. ENCE Academy only have 4 in the last 3 months to wake.
Yeah, and look, it's something that's always going to be on your mind, the lack of play rate across any map and teams that aren't really being featured on HLTV frequently. But come on, let's be honest with ourselves. If there's no competitiveness on map number 1, Is it going to be the same result on map number 2? I don't know. I even look at those play rates being low, and I don't even think that makes a difference to ENCE Academy today.
The caliber of the side certainly on full display for map number 1. The only chance that MASONIC can have any caliber is to display it on their home territory. Overpass coming up after this very short break. Don't go anywhere. It's an excellent start for ENCE Academy. Their own map pick going swimmingly. 13-6, looking proficient, especially on the second half when MASONIC only scored a singular round. Now into MASONIC's own map pick of Overpass. And once again, they've got all that play rate in their favor. But Dweg, you don't seem convinced about them potentially doing anything. They did look outclassing on ENCE Academy, I'll give you that.
Yeah, it was a poor start to the series. At least Overpass has looked quite good for them recently. I mean, look at what they've done on land, right? They've been able to beat Betclic, beat Voka, who's been going to a lot of these European lands as a North American team. 13-4 in a national derby versus Ecstatic 4 days ago. So I'm quite impressed with what I've seen, let's say, the last couple of weeks here from MASONIC. I just look at ENCE Academy and think they absolutely dispatched the likes of Little Mix a handful of days ago. They got an overtime loss against Metasport, who's one of the stronger teams in Sweden. So yeah, it's definitely on for a 2-0 here. It just depends if MASONIC can find form. They just really generated absolutely nothing there on map number 1.
And that's the key thing, is that can you get that level of performance, the individual performance past you? Because sometimes you can vary from map to map, and we have seen moments where blowouts in the opponent's favoured map is going to turn into a counteraction from your own favoured map. So maybe there'll be a confidence restore from MASONIC, but there is nothing that you can take from Nuke, most certainly, to say that there's a lot available for MASONIC in this one. So we'll see how far they can take it. Pistols are live for them on the T-side start. ENCE ready to set the defensive, and they have their positions held towards the B-bomb site where all the T-side players are going to look to go. Click struggles a little bit to get that opening kill, but gets it together alongside a triple. A quadra not quite going to be allowed, as Nora and Flora and Frostlev will turn it into a 2v2. The CT's wrap around in from the short access will eventually get here, and now wait for that bomb to get planted. Or Schwartz just seeing ahead of that smoke, but still gets that kill for Frostlev. He can't react in time, and Avu stands alone. The 1v2 scene swung upon and dead to rights by Teme. Pistol win once again for ENCE.
Complete disrespect there from ENCE Academy in the 2v2. Yeah, repositions are coming in quickly because the B player stalled for quite a lot of time, but you'd normally expect them to 2v2, give the bomb plant, wait out the smoke, then go in, and instead they just try and charge forward of it. You've got a lot of pace coming out of Monster as well. It was, let's say, a difficult hold from Click, but I think he does well to stabilize, right? It takes him ages to go and get that first kill, but when he eventually does, transfers back over to the second and third nicely. And for MASONIC, well, they don't get a bomb plant, so because of that, they're going to be down to a Glock round in round 2.
It's a positive start once again for the ENCE side. 2 out of the 3 pistols won. And was converted on during the second half of Nuke. He converted on right here with nothing much to speak of in the buy department for the teams. There's a harsher eco and leads into a rifle round. That's when they were able to end that early momentum on the CT side. That last map up, they're still going to get a couple of kills out of it as well. So SMG dropped with the rifle. Schwartz still gets that $1,800 a kill bonus, so not be sweating that too much, and there won't be any further damage sustained by the CT forces. So 2-0 start, and the rifles inbound from the Danes.
Another opportunity to see another official of Matt's. I think he played quite well on the City side out of Nuke. Bit of a supportive player, defending the A-bomb site in the majority of those rounds. Only has 58 maps played on HLTV, with 54 of them being with the ENCE Academy organisation. The youngster, the 18-year-old, has only been here for about a month now. And it's always nice to be able to get featured on HLTV frequently, which is what ENCE Academy have tried to do recently. Got the first gun round of MASONIC featuring a very heavy B default. 3 players outside of Monster to start.
Matt's HE outtakes down Frostlev, regardless. He's pushing forward to that smoke with no flash support there. Instantly dead to right. Man disadvantage that they can't really recover from here from MASONIC. Still planning out the default in towards short. The jump phase is going to spot out Krele. They adjust as well. No, they don't actually. Mats gets left exposed, and Click gets caught from beyond that smoke. Advantage does in fact turn the way of the Danes.
And this is where the last B player just needs to try and stall and block for as long as possible, because rotates are going to be slow.
Try to hold out sure, but he wants to play a much more passive position. Teme does have Miller on the scene, does get down one of those kills, but Avu turns the trade back from Heaven, smoked off. It has to come in from Graffiti. Miller going blow for blow with the AWP, but not able to get the kill for it. The Turn around, we'll now watch out the monster entrance where Schwarz is coming in, and a counter backstab also from Botman. May have the information already. Knife is pulled, back is turned, kill gets found, and Millet has to save. No choice in the matter for this one. It'll be an opening round for MASONIC.
Well, very disappointing there from ENCE Academy. Opening pick within the first, 15, 20 seconds, pretty much first contact out of Monster, and then you just get overwhelmed. There's a little bit of over-peeking towards the short area, another one that's out there towards the Monster as the breakage of the smoke comes in. And then Millet saves onto that AWP, but money's not ideal. Money in the reserve is quite light for a couple of these players. They'll get a buy together, but it's going to struggle. Very good response by the Danes.
Terrorists win.
At least this AWP will stay in for ENCE. Can buy around the slightly limited funds, of course. For Mars and SMG coming in for them. Temi. Matt and Schwarz all limited on their capacity to frags. Sonic and trying to equalise very early into this one. Going fast in was Monster with it, or at least it was what it looked like initially. First they will slow it down. There is no directive contact here from the CTs. Matt's SMG will now get flashed off, blinded beyond the pillar. We'll still wait for T-side contact. At that close range will take a lot of damage on Froslave, but Froslave gets the kill in with the B-site quickly falling off the back of that. Click can't do anything here.
Well, for the first time, the CTs try and fight heavily towards A, so it means 2 defenders on B, one as an anchor, and then the other one out there towards short. Very good spam to nearly deny the bomb from going down. But Click is completely trapped out towards the sandbags. He'll try his best to hold on to the M4 and save. And MASONIC could not have read that round any better.
And as you say, wrong time, wrong place for ENCE. Polar opposite, of course, for the MASONIC side. I'm going with all 5 alive, despite how close they came to at least a couple casualties there. And Click also goes up with the bomb eventually, so they lose out one of those rifles. I think Schwarz can just about claim it back, actually, so another rifle to speak of, but not enough to buy in around it here. I imagine that Mats and Click won't be getting anything at all. ENCE Academy. They invest into the utility for the players that did stay alive. A tactical timeout has been called in to make that decision.
And ENCE Academy have maybe found it difficult in the last few years to transition away from being a full Finnish team to going into the international side. I don't really rate a lot of the pickups that came into the team. You had Too High, that was the caller for a little bit. He then moved away. I know that, funny enough, Miltzy's just been picked up by AM Gaming. He's not been a part of this lineup for quite a while. But one of the Academy teams that has had a very few successes to even selling teams to other Tier 2 organizations. I think there's a lot of other Academy teams out there where even if they've not been promoted to the main team or they've not been too successful players in the higher end of Tier 2 or even Tier 1, a lot of them have been sold elsewhere, whereas for ENCE, it's been very difficult to sell some of these players. In fact, a lot of the time when they get benched, they end up just getting released.
It's very true. They haven't been quite as successful as a lot of the other Academy sides in both of those key metrics of either promoting talents up to the main team or selling them on. Yeah, it might be on that effect of the scene that they're in, the Finnish space. We were discussing a little bit earlier on today. Not the strongest, hasn't been for a while. M8. Seeing utility coming in, the execution once again set towards the B bomb site. Pistols only do so much from here. Frostev and Crowley get those 2 kills in. Click can take down 1 player with a 5-7. Very low HP to get more out of it though, so will get fallen as will Schwarz. Now the AWP very far away, needs to just save it. No choice in the matter. It did respectable damage against the HP bars, but none of those turn into kills.
So this is where early rounds in the next, I think they might have to play a double monster setup or play heavier on taking short, because we're getting the B bomb site bullied right now, aren't we? Frostlev is calling a game of just hitting B, B, B. So that's where, as a city side, you need to not only be able to adapt to the setup, but you need to be able to adjust with numbers on just how you want to take space, how you want to control this over-aggressive style that's coming in. So, yeah, to me, play double for Monster, or you take short water. I think playing heavy for the playgrounds, bathroom, long like they've done previously, it's just not much of a need right now with how these executes are coming in.
3 rounds in a row from MASONIC of information given over towards the ENCE Academy camp. Let's see how they adjust towards it. Orp will be missing as it got taken out in the post round. Further to that, when did MASONIC change their game plan? They're going heavy-handed once again towards Monster. Vu right behind him. Even that bomb. Smokes then towards Monster, quickly come out. There are 3 players out here, but they're not looking for actual map control. The jump facing from Teme. Ready with the nade. Puts it out. Nicely done. HP damage onto Avu, and a spray comes in from beyond the wood wall, so he goes down.
Well, that tells you that they're fighting heavy for short if you're able to get a kill off of that. AWP is trying to scale. Now, previously, when they scaled up short, they did catch someone on this exact same angle.
Not this time, though. Might present later, though. Matt's got caught, tagged up with the blind sprays. The Orp overcooks the flick from Noru. The damage does not compound to a casualty. They're just suppressed out the T side. No further rushes, but another execution comes in from Monster. No more utility to come down there as well from the CT side here. Monster's been left open for quite a bit. One man seeing that can utilise that smoke towards the closer range. The Molotovs out towards Toxic will catch Matt's blinded, but he's still alive here. Crowley involved. Click gets back on towards that man, and Matt will go falling eventually. AK dives in for Botman. Turns up a triple for it. With Frost's support, Miller can take one back down. Suicidal chaos, but it might just work out for the T's here. Bomb plant secured. Miller's got no health. He's going to back away.
Well, they just get bottlenecked to that left-hand side of the bomb site. Now, that's a very common smoke being lined up in the pit position where you left and right click and it lands in between the barrels and the pillar. Now, what that tends to do is blocks off that right-hand side entrance and it funnels the majority of T's into bridge control. For me, Jay, I'm not quite sure why there's 3 all around that pit position for the CTs. I don't mind 1. I don't even mind 2. I think the 3rd player's got to be Graffiti, right? Or maybe somewhere a little bit further back towards Heaven. Because if there's a flash play, if there's someone that's running through over the top, you're all grouped together. And then that's when you can get lined up. That's when you can get some very quick kills. Botman just comes in with 2, turns around, and then just makes it look easy with his teammates. MASONIC would have felt that they were at a huge disadvantage in that round. They just tried to take short water. They got hit by the spams, got hit by the HE. They're down in a 4v5. Players are being tagged up. Krella out here towards the barrels is really struggling with the flashbang, and then Botman just recovers it all.
And the defensive concerns will continue to grow here for ENCE, considering that they have no more rifles. Billet, the only one saved at the previous, stacking in that B bomb site. They'll leave Schwarz as the lurker out towards Con. It's a half buy with upgrade pistols and SMG. A boost for Millet. We'll look over at short from the sandbags. The monster control will be left pretty opened up as they counteract their gamble stack in towards the A bomb site now. Shaw's gathering information of footsteps, but not much to be held of. And Molotov should drive him out into the open. Into a fight that he can't win.
You're just never going to get anything when you're getting double mollied like that. And that's why I think if you're holding Con, a smoke is just so necessary, especially on those limited investment rounds. If you're going to play there and they're going to force you out with util, there's nowhere to go. AWP is hoping for that jump spot out from Dice, and the bathroom players are quite aggressive out here near the trash can.
M4 now on the scene. Millet's going to provide support. AK engages the first. To get the second back. The counter rotates are in is because Frostev will start to advance into the bomb site. SMG and take down the AWP with the support of that M4, and they start to get a little bit more panicked. Can recover that weapon. Turn it away with the doorway being closed back at connector. And again, no real way into a retake for the ENCE Academy side, so it's best to hold on to this weapon and consider it an upgrade to what was otherwise a half buy. A 5th in a row for MASONIC thus far. Continue to maintain. And
it might only be an anti-force buy, but it's comical that the T's have all of this control towards the divider entrance, in towards Banana. They've got a long look that is fully walked up in the bomb side, taken a 1-for-1 for Dice, and yet they still MB. That's just all we're getting right now on this T side. It's just BNs. And for ENCE Academy, It's one thing to be able to get a read and to be able to get an idea on what the in-game leader on the opposition is going to call, but you still need to be able to adjust yourselves to dealing with the execs, setting crossfires. I mean, all that ENCE Academy have won is what? The pistol, the anti-force buy, and then since then, I don't think I've seen a competitive round from them.
Polar opposite of the last map up. All those solid protocols, all those great individual moments have disappeared. And they're not going to at least land the opening frag of the AWP this time. Matt can also take down Frostlev in towards Monster. So finally, 2 angles of attack cut away from the T-side access.
I do like what the in-game leader's trying to do there from Frostlev. They know finally that an opening kill has come out towards the bathroom, so just excel, try and catch the timing on the Monster lurk. And instead he walks through, Mats is holding him. And this is a little bit more like it for ENCE Academy. This is a bit of confidence for the young squad. Try and keep as many players alive from this point onwards. And for the T's, well, there's no point saving. There's so much money in the reserve. You might as well just keep searching and just keep prodding around. And eventually you will lose the round, but you might be able to take the odd pick here or there.
And the one concern will be giving up the AKs. Other than that, you are right, though. Less than 40 seconds to play with, and Botman going to start to walk contact. Nora's got the utility support. Incendiary is out towards Toxic. Shadow advantage from Matt. Still gets picked up. This click will return the favour. And the AWP running back out position would have been heard there. And just suppress for any further contact. So he'll wait for hopefully an overextension. The round will certainly be picked up by ENCE this time, ending that 5-round streak. And getting back on the CT board.
And MASONIC will look at that last round and say, okay, we did pretty much everything right with the util. We mollied off Divider, we smoked off the front side of the bathrooms, but maybe we just peaked slightly too early. There was a good spam connection kill there from the AWP. How many times is Millet really going to be able to do that? Probably not frequently. And there it is again. Not much being, I would say, done mistake prone, but get away with a 3rd round, friends.
Turn into a 4th now. Money State's not looking amazing for MASONIC in the reserves. Quickly get ahead of that Molotov. Back to turn. Frostlev has no idea. And that's an opening start that can turn into a second. And almost must have extended. He made a lot of noise out to that. Sees a player at the edge of the smoke and takes a double. These extensions starting to get successful now for ENCE Academy. Not the first time he's pushed forward and not the last time he'll succeed.
Now, what's very cheeky about that setup, Jay, is that the T's mollied the short area. Now, because they did not drop a smoke and went for the run boost over, they had no idea about it. Now, Krally's been flashed out Monster. Still very difficult to win this round because you know that short's compromised. So what you really need to do is smoke off short, get the bomb down, and then focus on dealing with that area after. And they've even actually spammed him from Botman.
Ready for the player at water. Temi still wins that fight. Krally going to get caught. Botman starts to make his moves. Out towards jungle, sees a player. The M4 flash blind and forced to engage. Still gets away with the kill. A low HP. Botman bottles the job. And Noru. Bomb's been dropped as well. Funding through the AWP. Unrevealed by the player in the smoke. Shaw's going to get the headshot. And the 4th can go by the wayside for ENCE.
Well done from Click to get a little bit of individual brilliance, work away that first kill, and then just pre-aim that edge of the smoke. Frostlev never expecting a player there. You'd maybe say out there towards the short pipe, was that an extension that was necessary? Possibly not. Could have waited for the smoke or even could have asked for a flashbang from someone outside a Monster. And that just gave Click an easy 2.
ENCE Academy now. Oh, shot against them. Will lose the opening blow this time. As Temi tried to look down over the Monster angles, but HE's to open the connect the door. And the AWP watching for the flick lands him perfectly. No trades available right now for the CT side.
That's an excellent opening find, just when MASONIC have had a little bit of pressure against them in these last couple of rounds. Now Krale is just doing default U2 out towards Party. It is 3 towards B, or at least will be when the rotation comes through from Swars. Into Monster, they are going to cancel, and I think that's a good cancel. 2 players close Monster there on the City side.
Incendiary and Shaw will ensure that they don't go for that fast rotation. They're not going to be allowed to.
And they know it's B because Millet's cleared all of this map control deep long now.
3 players total on defense. A boost up for the AK to spot an individual with utility sent in towards Heaven. Now they've got to go right now. Player behind the default box. Frostev clearing out all of T-Ram. Gets his kills together. Schwarz in with a casualty of his own. Matt's protected only for a moment as he goes down to pot man. Schwarz going to do so much. 1v2 for Millet now. On the retake, AWP, no kit.
There's just not enough guns up there for ENCE Academy. They know that it's going to be a B lane, and all 3 players are just pummeling you two, aren't they? They're dropping flashes, HE, smokes. Lads, just get your rifles up. Oh, I think Click would have done so much more there if he just had his AK drawn. If he just AD'd on the off angle, I think he at least gets 2. Getting caught, panics there, ENCE Academy. And that's another round on the T side that really MASONIC should not be closing.
And those excellent protocols from the first map, a map that ENCE are well versed on, not so much for this one, clearly. And missing almost entirely. All players held back at water, had to retreat to that position, just got faced by so many, like shooting fish in a barrel from MASONIC. At least they can afford the rifles still. The AWP staying in, the M4s, the money basis held together. Minimum 6, of course, for MASONIC, however. So any more on this T side, and that will just be the half advantage. Gonna go for quick once again. It looks like Krale in, flashed off. Matt's incendiarying the position. Click 2 to line up, none to go down. Trade for Matt's at least decent for the first player. Down into the second. Needs backup desperately because Krale's closing in, and Krale gets both him and his backup. And that's round done.
And what do you say about that? Like, what are the B players doing, Jay? How are they getting 1 kill between 3 of them? I can't believe we've not seen a single move towards the A bomb site this entire first half. Frostlev is just called B after B. And for very good reason. The B players suck, bro. Like, they can't hold a bomb site.
Only Click's extensions have led into the top frag position. Other than that, you're right. The defense suffering from mistake after mistake, failing after failing, and frag after frag that goes MASONIC direction. Miller protect that AWP, get the kill in onto Krale. Keep 2 guns in for the final round of the half, which MASONIC have now won the half. ENCE. Best they can do is 5 at the turn, 8 for MASONIC if they get their way. Wouldn't look pretty either way for the Finns, and tactical timeout is called in appropriately so.
Well, MASONIC have had a lot of variations of these B lanes. We've had quick pops out of Monster, we've had contact moves, and we've even had splits in from short. They've been extremely well drilled, not just from the util on the flashes, but just the trading. The trading's been really good. Every time they're pathing out, they're always getting man advantages. And it tells you exactly why they picked this map so much on HLTV. I mean, 19 times now in the last 3 months. Yes, they're playing a lot of officials, and yes, they're playing a lot of tournaments, but that's a lot of Overpass picks. It shows depth in their map pool. Almost a bit of a shame we didn't see more on Nuke, considering how much they picked that map themselves. I'm really disappointed with how they performed on at least the first half, and then that transitioned into the second. But you come out over here on Overpass, and I think it's very easy to forget map number 1 because we're looking at a completely different team.
This goes to show what strength in home territory can do. Fundamental successes from ENCE Academy no longer in effect. And the weakness of counteraction no longer a concern for MASONIC, on the contrary. 4 players to defend the B-bomb site. 1 man watching mid. All the utility thrown in, all that noise being generated by the T side. No opening casualties gained in the opening minute once again. No searches from the CTs. No action from ENCE.
We're just trying to clear up connector, and you wonder, is this finally going to be the time that we get A pressure and an A end? I mean, look at the setup here for ENCE Academy. They've left the AWP as a solo player to defend the bathrooms, and everybody else is on B.
Miller's finally landed a pick back. Opening kill once again for the man. He's landed a number of opening frags. And they're not moving from the B bomb side, possibly because they just expect this to be a big old lurk play. The only 1 man was seen. Miller may be about to see a second, though. Jump face out long, and that will draw attention of a second man. The bomb's also on its way out of here as well, so this could end up converting. Or Pacina shoulder, but prematurely fires, refaces back in from mid, gets Frostep to drop. Miller doing all that he can with Teme striking, and Miller ends with a triple. And a sequence that defines the end of the half. If only we got to see more of that, converted a few more times, then maybe it could have been ENCE's day to rule. Instead, it will be a 5th round of silver lining to close out the half, with MASONIC leading by a margin of 2 as they enter their CT side after the break. From this margin of scoreline, MASONIC could not bring it back over on Nuke. And for ENCE Academy, you feel like them being on the back foot, it feels like it might be a similar sort of scenario. 7-5 to the favour of MASONIC on their map pick. And just a lack of key fundamental excellence here on this overpass. A lack of fundamental understanding of how to defend the bomb site on this overpass thus far.
And as soon as Frostlev recognised that early, he didn't stop, did he? He kept that pressure up for an entire half. It tells you that by the kills. Miller's 12-2, bro. Do you know why? Because he kept saving. All they did was save on A. The B players just kept losing fights. The A players never moved over. And now for ENCE, even if you get off to a pistol round start, even if you win first gun round, I don't think there's much in this. I've been very satisfied with what I've seen here from MASONIC.
They are locked in. They are looking good. They're looking likely to take us to a third map in this best of 3. ENCE done better on the pistol round so far in this series, so let's see whether one more can send them to a start on the T-side basis. Even if that happens, though, I'm not certain of how far it will go.
So slow here to try and get set into B.
And there was quite frequently over on Nuke as well. Caught them in the backside a couple of times, but they draw out first blood in the half for it. Botman with 1-2, nearly a third kill, not quite. Shores evades the majority of those bullets, turns into a double alongside Miller and Teme. They steal those kills away from him. 3-on-2 that favours the T side. Bomb will now look to get towards that bomb site. Left over for someone else to plant and left it in the open for now. Krale can take that chance to swing up, see a player crossing. The Julie's also set towards Norris. They've got the info on where the 2 CTs are retaking from. Crowley goes down in an instant. The bomb repositions towards harder cover. The Julie's have to extend out into the open. He's not being supported, though. Eventually does go in towards the center of the bomb site, but Teme holds from Toxic to get a triple win, and indeed the pistol will go the way of ENCE Academy.
It's a really good sequence from Botman defending against Monster. He gets that H in there. He starts swinging wide. Just a shame he doesn't get much help from Frostlev or Avu on first contact. So the B players go down by 1. And then eventually they just get caught on mass. Triple kill comes through from Teme. So MASONIC don't get anything there, but they do look to try and force buy. Now, Overpass is difficult with force buy wins because you end up gamble stacking quite a lot rather than separating the team. So let's just see if they can work a bit of an opening pick. I mean, there's not even that much util for them to work with here.
No, not at all. Jumping on from Avu is going to try and put the SMG, the jumping shots. He'll throw a little bit of tickle damage onto Mats, but nothing. Oh, it's not even Mats was there. It's Teme's Mac 10. Evaded all the damage. Got a dink down, a goosh down onto Avu. Crowley does take that chance to take some open space here in Con and catch Miller off guard, but the quick 180 returns fire. Botman has to trade to a 4-on-4. The Mac 10 and Mats will get involved as well to maintain the man advantage instead.
Yeah, so you can see that the T player there of Miller is just trying to get that boost where you jump yourself up solo, where you can spot into short water. The problem was he missed it twice and made so much noise that they end up just swinging Con. It works out in the end, though. And now for MASONIC, well, you just full gamble stack B, don't you? You're down by 1. You've got a player on 15 points of health. You've got to gamble one side or the other. So, yeah, I'm not really seeing much here.
"35 seconds. And the slow pace continues, but it should lean into a round here. The low HP of Avu is really left with not much. Mac 10 can overwhelm him, although the CTs are starting to rotate to provide support towards the man. Molotov driving back to water, 8 HP now. AKs are on site, Bomb will commit to the plant. Kill for Teme, kill for Click, 1 for Norris' return. But 5-7 to get 3 more, it's not going to happen.
No, 7-7. And ENCE Academy in that round, quite cautious. They search quite a lot, and then they run in towards an execute. Don't get too greedy with the time against the anti-force. Now this 5-7 might be able to try and keep players in with the bomb. Might be able to get one more exit frag, but definitely not winning the round.
He'll try, but ultimately he will be unsuccessful. There's a force buy round as well from the CT side. Noru.
Terrorists win.
To lose his life, Schwarz gets him. A much harsher eco. It's always going to be a harsh eco regardless. He'll follow up. And now without the extra weapon support or Kevlar from the one man. Save into a rifle basis for the next one, which ENCE Academy can take the lead on the meantime for. And really it is those gun rounds where you start to see how well set ENCE really will be.
Yeah, MASONIC just know in this round, if we can get an extremity kill anywhere and just recover a rifle, even if it is a Galil, that would be great. And Click is just setting up the first standard use of the util. Never going to be heavy when you're only playing by yourself. Now, he probably will get run down here. It's going to be difficult to fend off against this many players.
Well, he's dinked off initially, and he probably does want to maintain that life. 41 HP for the man. Bomb's right behind him. These extensions towards the B-bomb site will start to read the fact that the bomb site is clear. Click will eventually recognise what they were doing in that flashbang, telegraphing the entire aggressive push, but no kill will be allowed. Mats and Millet will try and counter. Blind sprays, kills in onto Krale and Botman. 5 on 3, nice and easy, nice and effective. No real trades available, no real casualties. We got close on 2 players, but nothing found by MASONIC here.
No, you just hold on to what you've got, bring it forward, and for ENCE Academy, and they do get themselves up to 8, but I think this is where the scorelines can just be a little bit misleading, can't they? You won Pistol, you won anti-eco in the first half, you then come into the second half, you've won an anti-force buy and an anti-eco backed off for a pistol, so you've already won 5 out of your 8 just from the start of the halves. And once we got into the gun rounds, we did see some struggles from them. Now, it might be different on T side because it's going to test, let's say, the scaling a lot more. It's going to prioritize a lot more heavy defaulting than just sitting back and playing crossfires. Yeah, MASONIC are still in a very good position right now, and I'd love to see the AWP come out from well, you've got what Avu is the in-game leader that's probably calling for it, but no to get the AWP forward because he wasn't doing very much AWPing on map number 1, and even when he did have the AWP, I wasn't really too impressed.
Oh, we're going to get given it now. Passed off by Botman, I believe. Well, like I said earlier, this will be the true test for ENCE Academy, and for the reason you just stated, not many of those rifle round wins coming in for them. 3 of their 8. Now the standardized half round, they'll need to get another one. And try and continue upon this little mini streak they've set up, 3 in a row. 5 in a row will start to look a little bit more dangerous, and then from there on, I'll try and work your way back into that 2-0 victory chance. And they set damage done towards Vu. Teme down to 72 on a blind spray that came out from that position. Counter boost available. Schwarz barely avoided that contact, but eventually gives up the position with the footstep, dismantling that boost in the process.
Krale hasn't seen anything out here from long, front side of the bathrooms. There's a lot of pressure towards B with the util. Barrels volley, HE towards the back of the pillar. So it's going to bring a rotation room up for the AWP, but this opening kill from the T side, oh, it'd be so critical for the round if they can get it towards the bathrooms.
Boost in from Botman to look over towards short access. Krale and Botman combine themselves with mid and short positions to deny a 5-on-3 now secured by MASONIC. No chances for trades back on ENCE, caught napping in those positions. And the bomb, not even with the main T-side force, is lurking back towards Monster. The 2 men start to push in towards Long, and they're not going to be able to get a bomb down here on the A side. They have to play distraction and get it over towards the B play instead. Click on sight, just seen there. That will draw attention back. Trying to charge down the man, try and get this kill together. They can't do so. Botman with both of them. And the round has completely capitulated here for ENCE Academy. A bomb plant could still get secured by Teme, but there will not be a chance to hold off against the retake.
It should get a spam here from Avu coming in from short, trying to hope to deny. No, it doesn't quite happen. And Teme gets away with 1. He's not going to get much more, though.
Indeed. Put away by Froslev. That's the opening round of the City side for MASONIC, and hopefully the opening round of good things for the Danes. Cash bonus plus an already decent buy state will come in for ENCE so they can buy back heavily. Back into those rifles for a second opportunity, but that round was very characteristic of what we talked about earlier. The pistol and conversions are great, but the gun rounds, and you have 4 players alive. That was a 1v5 there for them in the post plant.
Well, we just saw from ENCE Academy that there is going to be, in the mid-round, a lot of pressure against you in info, right? The boost that came up on the bomb site to check out towards short. So when we're running these defaults, we've got to be sure that we're maintaining areas of the map, that we're not just giving away freebies. MASONIC fighting quite aggressively towards long here with the NWP, but Krale is not really helping him. He's very back passive.
Nora leaning up, flash banged off, will reveal the AWP's position, put smoke down and provide himself some cover. Escape towards the long position. Mats are going to get caught by damage elsewhere on the ENCE Academy side. Engages towards this connector position. I assume spam damage or a HE or something sent that direction. Either way, he's less than 30 HP as the T's continue with this mid campaign.
We've not seen anyone play Divider. Flash comes up, and there's just a full swing. He doesn't even hold and stick there and tuck. He's going to have to keep swinging, and he gets another flashbang in for another kill.
Not quite the triple. Schwartz can put him back down. There's still a lot of damage done towards him. And a 4-on-3 advantage for the Danes once again. MASONIC starting to peek in towards his long access. Click has been heard. Try to engage, but doesn't pull the trigger on Botman. Doesn't get enough damage back there. And this has to be a save call now for ENCE Academy. I mean, they've got no choice in the matter. They've got no map control. They're being pushed on as well by the CT side. Siavu here in underpass, about to go up the ladder. We can make it up there. We can get both of these kills. I mean, he is being watched by Teme, so one player right back. He almost turned away at the wrong moment. But at least the CT is back off.
It's a shame that you can't get a kill after time there. If he would have just been able to get up the ladder undetected, you feel that maybe he gets at least one of these guys holding. But no, not to be. Very good last couple of rounds, though. And immediately you're seeing that change, aren't you? Getting away from the pistols, going into the gun rounds, and it's just pure dominance now from Frostlev and the boys. ENCE Academy have got themselves an awful T-side economy line. It's not only reset, but also 2 players save. Loss bonus not great. Puts it all out of whack, all out of order. And you've got a lot of AKs that are being held. I'm not sure if ENCE can actually win a T round now. I'm looking at the buy state, the economy, the streak and momentum-based, how that first half was when we got into the gun rounds. And I'm looking at the score right now, thinking 4 to close. I think this could very easily be 13-8. I mean, right here, there's not really a huge amount of faith for ENCE to convert. You then go down 8-10, 8-11. No, I do not see many more rounds left in this overpass.
Neither do I. Pathway to success feels non-existent right now from ENCE Academy. If it does exist, it's going to be paved with hardship. Broken by states. At least they can get 4 rifles or 2 AKs plus Galil, but they've got 3 AKs on the CT side. And Noro run boosted the AWP straight in towards the mid-access out to underpass. Can he reach them in time? Yes, he can. Click. Dead to rights in a matter of moments. Casualty filled. ENCE Academy not going to be able to slow this one down. Maz has now been spotted by the jump phase, so they've got information to work with in other capacities as well.
And they're pushing long. Oh, I just love this right now. The spam comes in extremely close, but it's 3 on B with a close player towards Monster. And just as the T's start, let's say, accelerating or putting some pressure down with Util, they're just blocking the CTs right now. So you've got 4 players here, all on a cross. And then Krale is just saying, mate, there is nothing towards A. Just group, just pack, just crossfire on B. There is going to be no way into this bomb site for ENCE.
And no realistic way of escaping either.
They're fading this monster smoke too.
Ball per minute, better be ready. Scoped in. Sees one, connects it. Secondary players out there though, and Frostlev can get a secondary kill. No, he can't actually. Millet turns it into a 3-on-3. There's a chance opened up. He's certainly going to try and make it happen. Flashbangs unaffected Noro here. Shoulder base, do force out the ult to make a mistake, but peeks back in towards Maz, gets that casualty, can't double up. Teme turns it in. The backstab closes in, however, for Krale's part. 2v2, smoke on Monster has kept them protected. And the T's now look for that plant. Botman, can he work against it? He'll try and do so. Tap once, Teme leans up. Seeing the gap, kill found for Krale on the backstab. They know exactly where Teme is. They can triangulate it. And Krale's blind spray can find number 10 for MASONIC.
Very well played from Botman, because he knows I just need to live. If I die, not only does it open up the opportunity to a potential insertion up towards CT and towards A, but then they're going to start thinking about flanks. They're going to very quickly look towards Monster or look towards Short, so I need to live. I need to make sure that I stay alive on the bomb site. And it's just enough, even without a single kill. And right there, I'd say it was a bit gimmicky. Now, I actually don't mind it. Of that Monster insertion. Now, normally, Jay, I always think man advantage. You know it's going to be B. You sit back, you play crossfires. When you're a team that's struggling like MASONIC, okay, when you're not really winning too many games on HLTV, when you got absolutely farmed on map number 1, I like when I see players and teams sort of using confidence, right? That even with the read on that B bomb side, we're still happy to sit there and play double into Monster. Now, yeah, you might get humbled ever so slightly, and you might have to react off of the back of that, and Frostlev to reel the troops in ever so slightly and say, okay, maybe let's not do that every single round. I still think that's a positive sign there for MASONIC.
Having gone from a battering on Nuke to now into a confident amount of play here on Overpass. Certainly contrasting in the positivity compared to where they could have been at for this best of 3. And they're playing confidently, their game plan's in full effect, and ENCE have been unable to find answers towards it, been unable to find decency of their own. Miller, I hesitate to say top impact player of the side, one's down first up. Schwarz and Click can at least trade him back in towards the mid-access, and AWP has been recovered, and the A side is generally pretty open. Click's going to be able to reach Dumpster, just about misses the mark onto the player that's now over at the truck. Flashbang forward, AK can't engage. Click forced out on a shot. Frostlev gets his kill. Schwarz with a returning frag. Botman needs to trade it back. Click going to hold out the outskirts of that truck. A secondary player will join out that crossfire from mid, and they have forced out the bomb site this time. The A hit will connect it to a bomb plant, a 1v3 for Avu.
It just beat him by pace completely. It's a very good sequence coming through from the Georgian. Avu has got no option but to hold on to this M4. You don't even really want to be looking for exits that much because the money in the reserve is not great. Frostlev's under 3k. Kraley's down around 2. Him himself is only on 1300, so yeah, don't want to be looking for an exit. And yeah, I think you are right about Miller. I mean, the kills might be high, but definitely stat padded a lot of the rounds where we're not getting much impact to a round victory. That one there, though, we get the young in-game leader. And not always the in-game leader. I know when Schwarz first joined the team, it was too high from North Macedonia. He was doing the calling, so it's been a development in his individual career and also a role change. But that's also going to happen, I think, with any team that have players that come and go frequently, right? Is that at some point you're probably going to be asked, are you happy to role change? Are you happy to maybe pick up the in-game leadership? So, yeah, he's been the caller for a little while now.
And Schwarz may need to call ENCE out of this hole that they're in. They are still behind. Even if that round has reduced the gap to 1. Still the game on, the AWP. Noru trying to find another cheeky angle. ENCE, however, are going to counteract their smoke. Disallow access. The nade down on that smoke will not reveal presence of the T side. Mats is just playing lurk here. All the teams are really focused on the mid-access here. 3 individuals outside of T-Con.
It's so difficult to take connector quickly as a T-side. It used to be quite easy in Go and before a lot of teams used to HE the door, but really you get spammed, you get HE'd, you get looked upon. You've got to take it slow. Sitting back means that AWP has absolutely no chance of striking early. Now, a few sounds are being made by footsteps out here to the front side of the bathrooms, and there's a slight play with it being such a B-heavy defense to say, right, I'm going to try and come through, catch players with you two in the open, maybe sleeping, but yeah, not a single kill comes in there.
Surprised that Kraley even found that blind spot to the AWP, but he did. Click still finds the casualty there, half HP for him, now leaves it on to Noru to defend the A bomb site. Seems to be another end A as well for ENCE Academy. Success was gained in the previous. How quick will the rotations be called in? How quickly can they get here for MASONIC? Insignia's just blocked for now, 25 seconds. Schwarz going to make some noise out of Monster, so trying to set him on a fake, and it has worked out. The AWP backs off the Monster, to Dumpster, I should say, on the A-bomb site. Does down a shot onto Click, who's not quite ready for him, so they will lose that man advantage, but they gain access to site, look for that bomb plant as well. Miller can lean forward, the distraction of Matt, who gets that kill in. Advantage for the T side of the post plant. Botman's going to try and quickly move up to try and trade it. But moving into the hands of Miller, who lands another kill. Matt gets his piece of the pie finally. And Frostlev has no choice but to save. ENCE Academy have finally come online.
Well, I am very surprised they've committed to that retake. That's a 3v4 where everyone's rotating up from spawn, so no one can flank from connector into the bathrooms or even bathrooms towards long. Lack of util and an AWP at the feet of Bank. That was so savable there for MASONIC. Now, with the loss bonus, with 900 for Noru, with 1600 for Avu, there would have been a very good buy on the table here. But they have opted against it, and now, well, they've got to eco off of it.
And at 10 apiece, it starts to get interesting for ENCE Academy once again.
Yeah, it starts sweating it a little bit now because it is a bit touch and go and it becomes an economy management game.
MASONIC has still won the majority of the rifle rounds in this map up, though. If they can get back to a rifle state, then that might provide the groundwork they need to finally usurp ENCE Academy for good. But for now, it's a half buy around this M4 passed off to Krale. SMG for Avu. Botman charging up with the USP at close quarters. Teammate right behind him. Boost being expected as well. They're going to start moving in, and Schwarz just immediately deals with two of them. Doesn't quite get the player in the back lines. Krale nearly gets the casualty. It's a 4v4 because one of those kills from Schwarz was a teamed kill. Teammate's got tagged up as well with the jump boost out towards the monster. Oh, sorry, towards jungle, I should say. He's the solo lurker out in that position. Krale hears him coming. Footsteps galore. Kill gets found. Low HP around the corner, but he's running out of ammo. Needs to get that reload in. It's easy to swing and strike right now. Krale holds himself together with a lot of damage being done, but now Noru can swing back with the pistol. Look at the health. 3-on-2 right now for MASONIC. They're on to steal.
This is so on because they have info on both of the players. I'm not sure how you win this if you're the T side. The HP bars are so damn low. You have to bait a mistake somewhere. And right now, the CTs are just jump spotting for info. No one is committing for a fight in this 3v2.
Froslav has seen one. They start to make moves immediately for it. Millet's hoping that pistol starts to extend, but not going to happen. Teme needs to move up the site. Needs to find the breathing room for Millet to put the bomb down. He will eventually catch Froslav extending and now look for this plant. Smoke down a dumpster. Plant in the open ahead of Dice. Swing can come through in the SMG. The AWP looks out towards long. And there's the impact for Millet. Two fantastic frags and a triple kill overall in the round. And Teme back over a dumpster. The bomb's not planted for him. Avu knows that long's clear. Can clear out pizza corner as well. He hasn't got a kit though. Tapping that bomb and try and force the fight out on Teme, who leans forward. The AK trying to engage his man. Look towards Dice. Tapped it again for a second time. Util's pulled out. And it just comes out of the hat for ENCE Academy. They have barely secured the lead.
That's very well played from Teme, though, in the 1v1, because you always know when it's a limited investment, there's probably not going to be a kit. It's a very low likelihood that there is. So when you're on low HP, you just can't peek. You're in a position where if you swing on that first tap, you're dead. You're absolutely gone for. So you be disciplined, you jiggle, you AD, you do not commit towards a fight, and then only on that second tap do you then start walking forward just in case he is sticking. Oh, MASONIC, they'll be gutted with themselves there. Frostlev knew in that 3v2 that was so on.
And now Millet's 22 frags him a bit more justified. So many occasions to get a pick out in mid and on the CT defensive, it wouldn't even lead to a round because the B defenders would fall apart. Now he feels vindicated. Damage heavy to the T economy, which MASONIC could use to claim map point first, but ENCE are on a roll. Miller leaning forward to the AWP. Collateral could be lined up for Noru. They don't quite get there, but Miller has fallen. The AK start leaning forward. The second shot for Noru lands, and the third not quite. Click takes back one. Teme with another. They've gone right past the bathrooms, and Botman, he's seen so many, but he completely whiffed the spray. And it comes undone once again from MASONIC. They're bottling this now. 2v3 for the retake. Tag on Teme. He's low HP. Avu making no crimes about his position. The Banky's made loads of noise there. And just searching, desperate, anything to go his way. It's not going to happen. Schwarz with a triple. And ENCE Academy from the brink of demise are set on map and series points.
And I actually really feel there for Botman. That was lazy for ENCE Academy. They are running down the AWPer and the Rifler, and no one has cleared the front side of the bathrooms. Botman knows I'd win this round off of myself, and he just whiffs, doesn't he? It's an individual moment where you probably drop the bomb, you get 2 kills, and that's it. And instead, you've not even been able to get a single kill. That's heartbreaking. That was set up for success, and it's a very good turnaround spin to be able to trade him. Oh, ENCE Academy, just at the tail end here of Overpass, have just shown some brilliance.
Their lowest lows contrasted only by their highest highs across their results, across their tournaments, and across even this best of 3. Disaster felt like it was going to strike down ENCE for a bit. An eco loss that was about to come their way, but with the recovery of that round, they've turned it into punishing mistakes against the MASONIC side. And it's game on for their 2-0. The buy state in round 23 is broken. They've done damage to Frostlev to start. He's been sent in towards his long position. The flashbang's perfect for Botman, and the coordination is still there to give a lifeline to MASONIC.
And there might be more in this round, because you've still got this con player with an XM. You've got all of Long still being held. Millet needs to get this trade back.
Mats could be blocked out. Norup's going to get seen. No, what? Oh my god, Mats has gone right past him. And Teme can take the trade at the very least, but a perfect kill. There should have been a sitter right there, but caught off. Checking too fast. Crowley now. Oh, what a tap that is! To add a cherry on top of what's already been a great round for him. And MASONIC say, play on.
Now, what would have probably happened there in Connector J was the gun barrel from the right-hand side view model was blocking the stairs. What a lot of players will do in con is tap H to have the left-hand side, so you scale up the stairs so you see what's going down underneath. A lot of players have different POV models, just how the gun barrels can often look. Millet was definitely the right decision to hold on to that AWP. Now, at least they've still got a good buy here. At least you're still going to get rifles for absolutely everyone. But what a timing on a flashbang. What a sequence there out from Long with an SMG out of all weapons.
The flash support was perfect. And it's been that way throughout the majority of this map up. Even the Botman flashes in towards mid to get Crowley involved with those casualties. They feel like they still got the protocols together. But can they go one more? Overtime or bust right now for MASONIC. As you mentioned, the buy looks good for ENCE Academy. It's a similar story for the Danes. And Nora's going to find that opening. Schwarz down towards the mid-fight. It's a B lean for the rest of the defaults.
Very greedy to be peeking on the front side of that bathroom smoke, but confidence is high. Now, Avu smokes off Monster, and now you just start blocking. So the Long player, Krale, who's been very active around this area for the majority of the half, is not seeing anything after this lurk. So he's going to start walking forward eventually, and then that's when you just stack up this B bomb site. ENCE have to hit B, and they're going to need a miracle with the entries, because there's going to be some really tight crossfires that they need to fend off against.
Smoke coming in from Frostlev close. Playing anti-flash as first port of call. First contact from Avu, most likely. And then the back lines of Botman. That is what they have to get through. 3 hurdles to jump. Mats will set the utility in from short. The main fraggers will be inbound. Flashes go over. Frostlev holds the angle directly. Teme and Click get those first 2 hurdles down. Botman can line them up. They're low HP as it stands. And Mats on the site also flicked upon. A triple from the man. Miller alone. 1v3 can land that first. Tech9 pulled out for the second. He's going to try and get pacey. Going to try and get close. Landed to the head. And no info on the last. He'll hold that bomb right down. But where could Crowley be coming from? Anywhere, really. They haven't got the info. He's panicking, he's searching out towards short. Look at Monster, seen him! Oh, and Millet! There's the impact! 25-9! A 1v3 clutch to make 13-11 on Overpass. And a 2-0 series that eliminates MASONIC from ESL Challenger League.
Well, well, well. That's one way to close down the map. What an individual sequence coming out from Millet. In a round where MASONIC had the read, they had mass players out there on B, they had a double monster set up, both of those players get absolutely nothing. Botman tries his absolute best, but it doesn't happen. ENCE Academy get themselves a 2-0 in a surprising fashion. I thought they were really getting outclassed for the majority of that first half. But I think that's just classic CS2, right? You have to get a few things going your way. A 1v3 clutch to close out there. You've got the in-game leader of Avu really struggling with the numbers for the majority of that map, Jay. And then, of course, what happened for ENCE Academy? Won back-to-back pistols on this map and back-to-back round 2 breaks as well. So you've got yourself that extra little bonus with just the rounds that's helped get this map over the line.
And it's just about enough for them because they were looking dire. Let's not kid ourselves. There was a period of time where we took a look at a 10-8 kind of scoreline and said, it's over. That you're not going to go any further from here if you're the ENCE Academy side. And then they just turned up that heat. They showed those high highs. They showed what they really can be made of at times. And yeah, it was a struggle in that first second map, but it is also a 2-0 with a confident Nuke in their mind. So ENCE Academy are proving that yes, the experience can pay off. The question is, can it pay off for another round? Because they're up against Big Academy, who will not be as inexperienced as their opponents today.
Yeah, that's going to be a snooze fest. Yeah, I don't know what to say about that matchup. Look, I've not been too impressed by Big Academy, and I think for ENCE Academy, you and I, we casted these guys last year in May. I haven't really seen any improvement from that iteration of the team to the one that I'm looking at today. I think that it's a very important win, especially when you're low ranked on VRS. But I don't see these boys being a threat in the lower bracket. I don't see this run going on for too much longer.
I mean, it's like we said before. I could have seen a world in which either of these two teams could have taken on Big Academy, potentially taken the victory, and then moved on to the next round when it's most likely whoever comes from the upper bracket will eliminate them. And that still stands even at this stage. I mean, look, it's one game where they struggled to get through the final phases of it. It's still very low-ranked squads that we're talking about here at this lower bracket stage. And in general, across the first few rounds of ECL, it's going to be that way. So, like, the fact of the matter is that I'm not convinced myself from ENCE Academy is at least a positive for themselves. For the MASONIC side, it's certainly better by comparison because they'll now be eliminated in last place. And it's another one of those last places. I mentioned before that have been involved a lot of the play-in stages of CCTs, a lot of the EPLs as well, and they haven't really been able to maintain a permanent place within the main staple tournaments of the Tier 2 scene. And it will be the exact same thing here for this cup.
Yeah, I'd probably rate ECL off just because they're playing with their coach as a stand-in, which it's different to ENCE because JO's been playing for legitimately the last week or two. Whereas this is only happening because they've got the roster locks in with the benching player of back not being here. So I think for that notion, I'm not disappointed here from MASONIC. I don't know how much faith I have in the lineup overall. I'd like to see them keep going to these LANs out of anything, right? I think that that's going to not only help out their VRS campaign, but it will probably get them a little bit more ready for some of the online officials, especially in a Tier 2 landscape, which is just so frequent, right? There's so many best of threes to be playing in closed qualifiers and Tier 2 events every single day. So I'd like to see these guys get to another LAN. I know that they're playing in quite a few in Denmark. They're going overseas for a couple as well. So yeah, the next few months, I just want to see what their new fifth man situation looks like. And then, of course, just get Frostlev back in the coaching slot again.
We'll find out how far they'll go once they find out that permanent fifth situation. But for now, it is all aboard the ENCE hype train as they maintain themselves in the bracket and we roll on with even more upper bracket action that rolls back up tomorrow in tomorrow's proceedings. So make sure you're joining us for all that action. But we conclude this evening for the ESL Challenger League. Thanks for joining us over the last few days, and we'll see you back here for even more of the best of Tier 2. SMG close at mini, gonna get checked on. Good burst on towards Mats. The M4 in the meantime. Resisting away from the rafters. Click will get that kill. Miller's gonna deal with one player on the outside. Evolve still involved. Click gets his kill back 15 seconds. Miller leg shot in the man down, pulls out the pistol. Going for that AWP, does miss his shot. He'd be doing so relatively quickly. No, the lineup's right there for Avu. Half is set back up with the SMG as well. Involved in the open, drop off from Avu. There's nothing. M4 is second, not quite able to the open bench corner, close bench corner. Mats can trade back into his casualty, double up, triple up, and quadra up. It gets back on towards that man, and Mats will go falling eventually. AK dives into the bot man, turns up a triple for it.
Players to defend the bathrooms, and everybody else is on B.
Warp seen a shoulder, but prematurely fires, refaces back in from mid, gets Frostlev to drop. Minute doing all that he can with Teme striking here. Shoulder base, do force out the ult to make a mistake, but the swing can come through in the SMG. The AWP looks out towards long. Dice tapped it again for a second time. Util's pulled out. That has fallen. The AK start leaning forward. The second shot for Nori lands, and the third not quite click. Leaving sent in towards his long position. The flashback's perfect for bot man. It's out. Norwich gonna get seen. No, what? Oh my God! Mats has gone right past him. Checking too fast, Crowley now. Oh, what a tap that is! Flashes go over, Frostlev holds the angle correctly. Teme and Click get those first two hurdles down. Botman can line them up, their low HP is stacking. He's going to try and get pacey. Good, they haven't got the info. He's panicking, he's searching out towards short. Look at Monster, seen him! Oh, and Millets! There's the